Hi everyone. In this video class, we can go for another set of biomolecules, that is enzymes. We know catalysts. What are catalysts? These are the substances which are helping to alter the rate of reactions. If we consider various types of chemical reactions, so there we can take the help of different catalysts. Either they are helping to increase the rate of reaction or decrease the rate of reaction. So they are considered as using the substance used for altering the rate of reaction. Likewise, in our living system, there are various biological activities will be taking place. Different reactions will be taking place in our living system also. So, for existence of our life, there will be carrying of different set of reactions continuously in our body. So, now these different types of reactions which are taking place inside our living system, they also need certain catalysts. Which are those catalysts? Those biological catalysts are nothing but enzymes. Then what are these enzymes? Enzymes are biocatalysts. They are acting as catalysts for different biological activities. So enzymes are proteins. So enzymes are also made up of proteins. They are produced by living organisms and they catalyze the specific biochemical reactions. That means we came to know that even enzymes are made up of proteins. They are playing a major role in different biological activities where they are acting as catalysts, where they are helping to increase the rate of reactions. That means we are able to just undergo different types of reactions in our body at normal conditions with the help of these enzymes. So now if we consider certain examples for these enzymes, there will be different types of reactions taking place in our body. So now for example, if we consider digestion. So here once you take the food, then it is undergoing digestion in the digestive system. So after digestion, there will be absorption of appropriate molecules. So once those molecules get absorbed in our digestive system, then these appropriate molecules further undergo certain reactions and they will ultimately produce energy. That energy is needed for the other biological activities and for the existence of our life. So now if you consider these sequence of reactions are carried out with the help of different types of enzymes with the different numbers. Now we can guess there are various examples in our biological system where these enzymes are playing major role. Now let us consider different examples. So where if you start with maltose. Maltose is a disaccharide. During digestion of the maltose, it will undergo hydrolysis in our body. So with the help of which is that enzyme? That is maltase. So when maltose undergoes hydrolysis in the presence of enzyme maltase, it will get broken down into two glucose units, that is disaccharide is converting into monosaccharide. Similarly, if a starch is subjected for hydrolysis in our living system itself, biological system, starch will undergo hydrolysis in the presence of enzyme amylase. It is converting into maltose, that is monosaccharide units. Similarly, oils and fats can get digested by hydrolysis in the presence of enzyme lipase. There will be conversion into glycerols and fatty acids. And if we take another example, proteins. For the digestion of the proteins, here we need hydrolysis of proteins. So, proteins will undergo hydrolysis in the presence of pepsin as the enzyme that is helping for the broken down of these proteins into simpler proteases and peptones. Now, if you consider these set of reactions, here there is a major role played by these different types of enzymes. Then what are these enzymes are made up of actually? So enzymes actually contains two factors, that is one is apoenzyme, other one is prosthetic group. So which are these two constituents present in an enzyme? One is apoenzyme which is said to be proteinous part and prosthetic group which is said to be non-proteinous part. Actually, this non-proteinous part either it will be containing coenzyme or it will be containing cofactor. So, for any enzyme activity, both apoenzyme and prosthetic group are needed. So, now if you say the different characteristics of enzymes, what are those different characteristics of enzymes? We can guess enzymes are particularly the enzymes which are with respect to their shape are said to be globular. So the shape of these proteins in terms of enzymes, they are globular shape. So majority of them are globular shape. And you can say that they are highly specific for a particular reaction and substrate. Now we can guess how they are said to be specific in nature. Now let us consider this example. For the conversion of maltose into glucose, we can take the help of only maltase. Only maltase enzyme can be helping for the conversion of maltose into glucose. But if this maltose is subjected for hydrolysis in the presence of enzyme amylase, this reaction won't take place. So because this is highly specific, maltase enzyme can interact only with the maltose but not with the starch. So that means it is highly specific for particular reaction, even it is highly specific with the substrate, that is reactants. Now even if you say that, so lipase can be used only with respect to this reaction but not for the digestion of these proteins. Like that we can consider enzymes are highly specific in nature for any particular reaction site, even the substrates. And if you go for their quantity, what is that number of enzymes required? You can easily guess. So here in our biological system, one enzyme can be helping for catalyzing, or it is helping for just acting as biocatalyst. More than 10,000 molecules are the substrates. You can imagine its performance, how much it is having much efficiency. It has got more efficiency, very much efficiency. So because one enzyme can be helping for catalyzing more than 10,000 molecules, that is for how much? That is only for 1 second. So in 1 second, it can be helping for catalyzing more than 10,000 molecules. Then you can imagine the efficiency of the enzyme. Now, once you can guess, they are needed in very small quantity, means only one enzyme can be helping for conversion of any reaction with more and more numbers of substrates. And even they are helping to reduce the magnitude of activation of energy. That means various biological activities will be done under normal conditions. They don't require very high temperatures or very high pressure. So at normal conditions inside our body system itself, these enzymes are helping for the conversion of reactants into products. So now they are helping to reduce this activation energy. Now let us consider, so for the conversion of any reactants into products, so here it needs this much amount of energy. Once the reactant reaches this level of energy, then only they are able to convert into products. But that is in the absence of enzyme. If the same reaction is done in the presence of enzyme, then it needs only this much amount of energy for conversion into product. That means we can consider that distance level of energy as activation energy. So here that activation energy will be activation energy that is in the absence of enzyme, it will be more. In the presence of enzyme, that energy needed for the conversion of reactant to products is very less, that is nothing but activation energy. So here that minimum amount of energy required for reactants for the conversion into product is considered as activation energy. So that enzyme is helping to reduce that activation energy. So it has got more efficiency for the easy conversion of reactants into products at normal conditions. And even if you consider their activity, so usually the activity of enzymes will be very much optimum, that is very much more or maximum at optimum temperature. Which is that optimum temperature? That is 37 degrees Celsius. At this temperature, their activity will be very, very maximum. So if you increase the temperature more and more, so if it cross limits more than 40 degrees Celsius, like that, we can guess their activity will get decreased. So we can guess these are the characteristics of enzyme where we can find enzymes has got more efficiency. They are acting as biocatalysts. So for the existence of our life, which are playing major role, these are the proteins which are nothing but enzymes. That is regarding enzymes. Now we can go for next set of biomolecules, that are hormones. So there are various types of hormones secreted inside our body for conducting various biological activities. And what are these hormones actually? So hormones are biomolecules. They are actually intracellular messengers. So now we can consider these hormones. Actually they are produced by endocrine glands. So there are two types of gland system, exocrine gland and endocrine glands. So endocrine glands are usually called as ductless glands, where the glands which secrete hormones, they are directly pouring into the bloodstream, and through the bloodstream they can reach the site of action. So now we can consider these are the hormones which are secreted by ductless glands or the endocrine glands. So majorly we can classify these hormones into three types based on their chemical reactions. Now based on their chemical nature, we can classify the hormones as steroids, then polypeptides and amino acid derivatives. Very firstly, if we go for steroids, so these steroids are also of again two types. So very first, adrenal, that is two types. First one is adrenal cortex hormones which are secreted from adrenal cortex itself. This adrenal cortex will be present on the top position of the kidney, that is in adrenal gland. So and other type of hormone will be, that is sex hormones. They are secreted from the gonads. So that is testes in males and ovaries in females. And now if you go for these adrenal cortex hormones, so these adrenal cortex hormones again are divided into two types. One is glucocorticoid, another one is mineralocorticoids. So what are these glucocorticoids? These are the hormones. They are actually helping for controlling the metabolism, that is carbohydrates metabolic rate will be depending on this glucocorticoids. The metabolic activity of the carbohydrates will be controlled by this glucocorticoids, and even they are modulating the inflammatory reactions. Whichever any particular infections which are causing inflammations in our body, that will be reduced with the help of these glucocorticoids, and even they are involved in the reactions to stress. So whichever that reactions causing the stress in our body, they might be decrease in that stress because of this glucocorticoids. And another type of these adrenal cortex hormones is mineralocorticoids. So what are the role of these mineralocorticoids? Actually they are helping to control the level of excretion of water and salt by the kidney. So during the excretion, so what is the level of water and salt, that will be decided by this mineralocorticoids. And next type of steroid hormones are sex hormones. Actually these sex hormones are released from gonads. So if you consider in case of males, so these are the hormones which are secreted from testes. So they are testosterones. They are actually helping for development of the secondary sexual characters in males. And if you go for females, in case of females, there will be secretion of two hormones. One is estrogens, other one is progesterones. Actually these estrogens are also helping for the development of secondary sexual characteristics in female, and they are also helping to maintain the or control the menstrual cycle. And with respect to this progesterone, it is one of the hormone which is helping for preparing the uterus for the implantation of particularly, that is fertilized egg. So that is during pregnancy. So and if you go for second type of hormones, they are called as polypeptides. So these polypeptides, they are actually helping to maintain the balance of different biological activities in our body. Now if we go for examples for these polypeptides, we can consider insulin, glucagon and endorphins. So insulin, actually this insulin is secreted, this is one of the hormone which is secreted into our bloodstream, which is helping to normalize the glucose level. If there is an increase in the glucose level in our bloodstream, that glucose level will get normalized with the help of the insulin. And if you go for glucagon, actually if there is a decrease in the glucose level in our bloodstream, that will get normalized with the help of this glucagon. That means both insulin and glucagon are helping to normalize the blood level within the normal limits. And if you go for this endorphins, these endorphin hormones are helping to reduce the stress and relieve the pain. And if you go for next set of hormones, that is amino acid derivatives. So they are considered as amino acid derivatives, and they will actually mediate the responses to external stimuli. So now there are different examples given for amino acid derivatives. Which are those? One is epinephrine, then norepinephrine, and another one is thyroxine. If you go for this epinephrine, so this epinephrine as well as norepinephrine, they are considered as they will cause fight or flight response. This epinephrine is considered as adrenaline, and norepinephrine is considered as noradrenaline. Both of these hormones are helping to increase the blood glucose level. They will increase the heart pulse rate, and they will also actually that norepinephrine specifically, it will help to increase the blood pressure, and they will boost up the energy level, and even they will increase the breathing rate, so that there will be increase in the energy. These are all needed during the emergencies. So now if we consider, if anybody attacks us, at a sudden we have to give response. Either we have to fight with those attackers, or we have to run away from those attackers. For all that, what we need? We all need the changes in our body, so that there will be increase in the energy. So for increase in that energy, at a sudden there will be increase in the heart rate, there will be increase in the contractility of the heart muscles, and even there will be increase in the blood pressure. All that is done with the help of these hormones. One is epinephrine, another one is norepinephrine. And another hormone, that is amino acid derivative, that is nothing but thyroxine. Actually, this is thyroxine. This is one of the hormone which is whether it is in excess or if it is in very much less quantity, it will be causing adverse effect on us. So it can cause, if there is excess secretion of thyroxine, it is causing hyperthyroidism, whereas deficiency in the secretion of thyroxine causes hypothyroidism. So if you say that if there is decrease in the iodine level, so there will be effect on the thyroxine hormone. So we can consider, if there is deficiency of any hormones, they will have adverse effects on our living system or on our body. So there should be normalization, or there should be limitation in the secretion of these different types of hormones. There should not be either secretion in excess, or there should not be any deficiency of hormones. So even we need these hormones for various biological activities.